Good day everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Chef Nad's Life in Spice. Today, what are we cooking? Well, we're cooking King Prawn Bhuna bhaji. This is a very traditional Bengali style dish. This is a recipe that I've adapted from my mother. So let's have a look at what are the ingredients we have today. Firstly, of course, we have some king prawns. Let's have a look at these. These are Bangladeshi king prawns. They're size 6 to 8. They're frozen. I've defrosted them and patted them dry. We're cooking with a couple of medium-sized onions, sliced. We've got 2 smallish, very ripe tomatoes, cut into 8s. We've got about 3 small chillies, green, and there's a red one there that was in the packet, so I chopped that up. About 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, sliced. Bit of fresh coriander chopped. Today we'll be cooking with some turmeric, coriander, touch of garam masala, some cumin, Kashmiri chili as well. Don't want it too hot, it's a medium dish. And we're gonna cook that in just a bit of vegetable oil. So basically we're going to first prepare the prawns, give them a bit of color, a bit of flavor, and then we're gonna make a nice Bhuna sauce for that. It's a delicious dish, so let's get cooking. The first thing we want to do, I want to just dust these lovely king prawns, as you can see. We're just going to dust them with half a teaspoon of turmeric, small teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder, just give that a bit of color there. Forgot to mention earlier, we're still going to have a bit of salt, so just dust a little bit of salt there. We just mix that, coat that. Now these prawns have been shelled and they've been deveined, if you can see, look, and cleaned. And I've left the tails on here, just because they look quite nice. So I put the pan on quite a high heat. So I'm just going to cover the bottom of the pan with about 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil there. Wait for that to get hot. But the oil is on a medium heat now. It's getting quite hot. Let's check. Starting to sizzle, as you can see. Going to quickly flash fry the prawns. As you can see, look, they're nice. So we just want to, just going to get a bit of color. We're not going to cook them through. Just want to get a color and a bit of flavor in the outside. This adds an extra layer of flavor to the final dish. Do this with quite a bit of seafood, chicken. So we just adds a bit of color to the prawns. These are beautiful king prawns. They're a nice size. There's 10 king prawns here. So they're 6 to 8. That means usually I think they're 6 to 8 per pound, if I'm not mistaken. This works with smaller king prawns as well. Not a problem. But these are a nice, lovely size for this dish. And we'll cook the whole dish in the same pan. So we're looking at 2 minutes on each side. So you can see there, we just want that before it gets too cooked through. And this also flavors the oil that I'm going to cook everything in. Adds another texture. You can see. Total we're looking at 3 minutes probably. The prawns do cook quick. They're quite thick prawns as well though, look. So they're cooking on a medium heat, so not too high. They're curling up a bit, so yeah, I think that's done. We're just going to take them off. You can cook them in raw, I suppose. You're not going to get the same flavor as this. The medium heat, I might lower the heat a little bit more. In the same oil, we're just going to, there's quite a bit of onions here. So we're trying to soften them slower this time to get a sweet caramelized onion flavor. They're not too spicy. So let that cook down. When you get them quite translucent, already you're getting a bit of color from the spice out in the prawn. So that's additional flavor. So what we're going to do, add say about a half a teaspoon of salt. And you can add a bit more later. And I don't want these to brown, just want them to gently cook. We've got some chili. So let that soften it up. Then we'll add garlic in a moment. As you can see, it's gently got a bit quite translucent. Let's have a look at this quickly. It's softening up nicely. Not a harsh cook on this. Gentle cook. Get a gentle, soft flavor because we want the sugars really slower. As you can see, I'm gonna add now the garlic. Let's put that there. And again, we don't want to be burning the garlic. We want the garlic to cook slowly. It'll get a sweet flavor to that. And then we'll add a bit of spices. So this has been cooking for approximately 4-5 minutes now. It doesn't take long, this dish, so that's the beauty of it. So we've already had the prawns half cooked. So we're just developing a nice bhuna-ish base. So we'll let that cook for approximately 2 minutes on a low heat. So let the garlic soften up a bit. So look at this. Look, it's kind of, yeah, that's what we're wanting. Now, in about a minute and a half, the garlic, you can see it's starting to catch a little. So we're going to add ground spices now. So we can get a teaspoon of turmeric, half teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder. If you want it hotter, you can add more if you want. Also coriander in this. A very heat teaspoon of coriander. I want about a half teaspoon of cumin and 1/3 of a teaspoon of Garam Masala in this. Not too much. A couple of grinds of black pepper. As you can see, look at that. It's just changing color there. That's a beautiful. Can you see? Now I'm just going to throw in a bit of coriander. So that's the first stage. I've got all those tomatoes. Now we want to add a bit of liquid to that sauce. So that's where the tomatoes come in. Now it's on a fairly low heat. So those tomatoes need to break down a bit and soften. Don't want them to fully dissolve. Heat them a little bit. And then I'm going to add a tiny touch of water to that. If only you could smell this. Just adding a tablespoon. Don't add too much water. I'm going to drown this. This is just to help develop a sauce and create a bit extra steam. It's about 2 tablespoons for now. Very simple there. Can you see? Add a bit more coriander at this stage. So you can see the colors, the oil starting to separate. That in itself is just beautiful. So what we're going to do now is just going to add a tiny bit more water. So if I spin about 3, so a total of 4 tablespoons of water there. And you have to put the water in stages, like cooking risotto. Don't overfill the pan with lots of water and drown. So now we're just going to put the lid on this now and cook that on a low heat about 5 minutes. Don't do anything to it. Very low heat, 5 minutes, and then come back, give it a stir, cook it for another 5 minutes. That's been cooking away 5 minutes now on a very low heat with the lid on. Let's have a look what it looks like now. Steam, and wow, look at that. Now what's happened is tomatoes have softened. Remember, I don't want the tomatoes to be completely dissolved in this. So that's been a low heat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase the heat to a medium. A bit of coriander. We'll taste the seasoning on that. It's nice. I'm going to reintroduce prawns back into that. And I'll give this a quick. Wow, look at that already. It's, like I said, the prawns are almost cooked. I'm just going to coat that in the spice and the Bhuna sauce. That's almost done. And I'm going to add a bit more water to that just to make a gravy. So there you have a bit more sauce there. The gravy. We're just going to cook that through. We're just basically cooking the prawns through now. So it's on a low heat again, about 3 minutes. And I think that should be done. That's been simmering away on a low heat for about 3 minutes now. So I'm gonna have a quick look. Should be done. Let's have a look. And there you have. Wow, the oil separated. So yeah, look at that. Beautiful, look at that. So let's cook through, switch the heat off, and it's good to garnish that. Look at that. That is a beautiful dish. And that was it. Didn't take too long, 20 minutes. spending time cooking, and that's amazing. That's a nice medium hot dish, not too spicy, full of flavor, and there you go.